Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 7 of our Lotus F1 Manager career mode. Now, if you did not watch the last episode, I know it were a bit longer, but my god, go back and watch it, because that race in Miami is one I will always remember, because it is the time where Enzo Fittipaldi scored Lotus's first points since we came back to F1, finishing in P9 above Fernando Alonso, above Lance Stroll. We had a little bit of a wobble at the end. We didn't have the greatest pit stop, but we scored some points at last. Lando Norris won from Charles Leclerc. Liam Lawson only finished P13, and we're going to have a little chat about him in a moment. But just to bring you up to date with the standings, constructor standings wise, Ferrari are winning from McLaren. 20 points is the difference. Red Bull in P3, believe it or not. Team Lotus in P7. We are very much in a fight with the RBs, and it must be said, we were fighting with Aston Martins in that last race. Driver standings wise, Charles Leclerc is leading the way on 131 points from Lando Norris. Max Verstappen is in P3. If you're interested in the F2, there is the drivers and the constructors, and the F3, the constructors and the drivers. Now, it must be said, Liam Lawson isn't really performing at the moment. He's the number one driver. He's far superior to Enzo Fittipaldi in terms of rating, but he's not showing it. And if he continues not to show it, I want to have your opinion on if we should change driver at the midpoint. We are currently scouting Checo Perez. I think that's a bit ambitious, but there's a few other drivers on the grid, more experienced heads, I'm thinking, to come in alongside Enzo Fittipaldi. Kevin Magnussen is having a shocking time at Haas. Maybe we could revitalise his career here at Team Lotus. Maybe someone like Valtteri Bottas, maybe Nico Hülkenberg, Esteban Ocon. Let me know down in the comments what you think. But this weekend we head to Imola in Italy. Now, this is an alternative qualifying weekend, and we have got 63 laps around here. Car attributes, top speed important, but medium and high speed cornering we're pretty decent at. Expected strategy is normally a one-stop round here. It's very rare it's a two. But all that being said, I'm going to get through practice, and I'll see you in qualifying for the Italian Grand Prix. Final laps in Q2 then. Liam Lawson is looking particularly quick this weekend. DRS wide open, green through the first and second sectors. Liam Lawson putting a stonking final lap there. Fittipaldi not improving, but at the moment could be through to Q3. Fittipaldi crosses the line, doesn't improve as we fast forward on. Let's see what Tsunoda, Ricciardo and Alonso can do. Tsunoda goes up to P9, and both Lotuses are through to Q3. Liam Lawson's got a grid penalty again, and I'm not sure why, but we'll worry about that in a minute. Q3 coming up next. Final laps in Q3 then. Liam Lawson coming up to the line, amazingly, on a fresh set of soft compound tyre, not improving. Fittipaldi is coming around the final sector. It's not looking very good at all for us improving here. Fittipaldi yellow through the first and second sector. As Fittipaldi comes up to the line, we can see, will he manage to improve? He doesn't. It's P8 for Fittipaldi, P9 in the end. And as we get towards the end of the session, I don't think anybody's improving massively. So it will be Max Verstappen on pole position, Carlos Sainz in P2, Norris and Leclerc complete the first two rows. Fittipaldi will start P9, Lawson P10, but let's see what that grid penalty is. Right then, ladies and gents, we have got rain all race. It must be said, we're going to go for a two-stop on the intermediates, coming in around lap 30, and it looks like it's going to be wet all day. So starting off, it's just above the dry conditions, but P9, Liam Lawson is taking a full set of engine grid penalties, so he's going to be starting at the very, very back, but we might as well. So Lawson starting at the back, Fittipaldi P9. Let's see what we can do.
The anticipation is really building here. The fans in attendance are absolutely buzzing with excitement. Well, they certainly appear calm and composed heading into this race.
They've done well to secure a P9 start, and they'll be keen to convert that into some points.
But there's no more time left. We've got a race on our hands. This is it. The Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. And it's lights out, and away we go.
And away we go. Max Verstappen gets a very good start. Lando Norris in P2 also. Carlos Sainz and Charles Leclerc side by side, but just settle in 2 formation. We're looking at Enzo Fittipaldi to see if he can possibly make up any positions early doors here as he tries to go down the inside of George Russell. And it's got to be said, he does it beautifully. And Fittipaldi straight away, he's up into P8. And I think he's going to be having a look at this Visa Cash App RB as well, because we're going to ride on board with Enzo Fittipaldi. Will he try and move down the inside here? Fittipaldi has a little look. And I tell you what, he has more than a little look, because Fittipaldi is up into P7. What a start from the young Brazilian driver in the rain here in Imola. Loving life at the start. Track is now damp, and it must be said, let's have a look at what Liam Lawson manages to do here, because Liam Lawson is up into P21, gaining a position already. He's got a long old race at the back here. He's going to have to work his way through, but Fittipaldi, superb start. There has been a crash on circuit, and Liam Lawson is going to retire the car. Liam Lawson is out of the Grand Prix. We haven't got a replay. We have got a replay now. Let's have a little look at what's happened here. He's just pulled up at the side. He's got major front wing damage, major rear wing damage, and Liam Lawson again, I mean, he's just smashing car after car up at this moment, and this is really starting to become a problem for the team. We're just starting to conserve the tyres a little bit as well. It's dry at the moment. The tyres are getting an absolute caning, but we are now down to 1 car now. Magnussen as well was involved in that. We're not going to get a replay. We're under virtual safety car conditions, but now we've just got 1 driver to manage in this race, and that is Enzo Fittipaldi. We are back to green flag running now. It must be said, Kevin Magnussen did get a 5-second penalty for smashing into Liam Lawson. So maybe it wasn't Liam Lawson's fault. We're not going to get to see it, as I've said. But now Fittipaldi has got to chase after Yuki Tsunoda. It is a one-man charge. Sorry, chase after Checo Perez. It's a one-man charge for Lotus today now. And let's see what he can do in these very tricky conditions. But so far, so good. Lap 4, Verstappen leads, Fittipaldi 7th. It's starting to get a little bit concerning. Fittipaldi's dropped off after that amazing start. He probably didn't want that VSC, but Yuki Tsunoda's just managed to get past him into the right-hander. It was, yeah, close racing, but Tsunoda knows how important, and he knows he's in a battle against Fittipaldi at this moment in time, and Fittipaldi's coming right back at him and gets back in front. Lovely move from Fittipaldi. He's back into P7. You join us back on lap 10. There's not been too much to tell you about, apart from Fittipaldi's managed to pull a 2.7 second gap over P8 at this moment, and he's driving incredibly well. If we have a look at the last lap time, a 1:24.8 plays a 1:25.9. He was a second faster than Tsunoda and Russell on that last lap, and Tsunoda and Russell are still battling, whereas Fittipaldi is basically just running away with it. We've got a couple of cars that's locked up. Sargent in particular has now got a mechanical fault, as well as Pierre Gasly and Daniel Ricciardo. Lando Norris is now leading the Grand Prix from Max Verstappen. Sainz and Leclerc in P3 and 4. Piastri in P5. Then comes Perez, Fittipaldi P7, Russell P8, and Tsunoda and Alonso round off the top 10. Lap 23, I'm bringing you back because there has been literally nothing to tell you about so far. The engine braking is not happening on Yuki Tsunoda's car. Yuki Tsunoda's got a mechanical fault now, which really plays into our hands because Fittipaldi is managing the pace from Russell beautifully. He's looking after his tyres impeccably, and it must be said Checo Perez is really struggling on his inters. I'm wondering whether Fittipaldi could possibly beat Checo Perez today. 10 seconds a big gap, don't get me wrong, but at the moment Fittipaldi is driving a beautiful race and we're here for it. Lap 31, we're just coming up to the halfway point. Track's just gone to dry and Max Verstappen has got a mechanical fault. He's currently leading the Grand Prix, but at the moment that's going to cost him. Lando Norris 5.3 seconds behind. Fittipaldi at the moment just keeping George Russell out of the DRS. We're just maintaining the tyres while the track is dry, but we're expecting pit stops in the next few laps. Now George Russell has caught up to Fittipaldi, and it must be said that Russell is just having a strange noise coming from the power unit. He's not overly impressed at the minute. Now what we've decided to do is we've got this dry period of the race now where we're just having to manage the tyres. We're expecting it to go back to damp in a little while, so we're just watching what is happening with the tyres at the moment, because we're going to burn these tyres up basically, then hopefully switch to another set of intermediates in a little while. Perez has just gone into the pits. Now let's see what the Red Bull garage have got ready for Checo Perez, because this could be interesting. If he goes on to dries, which he isn't, he's going on to another set of intermediates, so that gives us an idea of where we need to be. So Perez into the pits, first one to box. We're just fighting with Russell at the moment, and we'll keep with it as George Russell now with DRS overtakes Fittipaldi. Lap 37, and we are pulling the trigger. We are into the pits, and George Russell stays out. Now, this is going to be the undercut on Russell because we know Piastri and Perez have come in already. Now, hopefully, we get out in a nice bit of clean air, and we can put the afterburners on just as the track switches back to damp conditions, which if you see on the right hand side, it looks like it's just about to do. So if we get a decent pit stop here from the boys, which we're certainly expecting, we do get a decent pit stop. It's 2.8 seconds. Now we're doing a little rain dance, because if we get a decent rain dance here, Sonoda, we're going to be in so much clean air here. If we can attack on these tyres on this outlap, and hopefully this car gets out of our way, this Williams, then this could be really, really decent for us. Will the Williams get out of the way? Possibly won't, but now it's hammer time. We go for the undercut on fresh set of tyres. It's a yellow flag. If this is a safety car, this could be shocking. It's not a safety car, fortunately, but it's full push now for Fittipaldi to attack George Russell. And to say the undercut works would be an understatement, because as you can see, George Russell has come back out 6.8 seconds behind Enzo Fittipaldi. Fittipaldi now is in P9. He's comfortably in P9, and we're just looking in front. Hamilton yet to pit. Stroll yet to pit. He may go to the very end. Verstappen has just pit, but he's got mechanical issues at the moment. I mean, Fittipaldi, anything could happen here today. Lap 39, long way to go, but we're very much in the points again. Lap 42, Lewis Hamilton into the pits for a set of intermediate tyres now. Fittipaldi now promoted up to P8. Now, Lance Stroll has got to pit again, or maybe he'll run to the end, Lance Stroll. It'll be interesting to see what he does here, but we're doing very, very well. George Russell's not going to catch us now. Lance Stroll's the target. Logan Sargent's probably not one driver we're looking at signing, because Logan Sargent's having more spins than Liam Lawson as he goes spinning into the side. Lawson, another mistake, he says on the radio, and it's just not happening for the American driver. Gap from Fittipaldi to Stroll is now 6 seconds. Stroll's tyres are dying, but he's looking after him rather well. We've got a few people here just trying to go all the way to the very end, but I'd fancy Fittipaldi to catch Lance Stroll and possibly don't write off catching Checo Perez. Virtual safety car is deployed now. This will help the drivers who are trying the no stop here. This will just neutralise the race, and oh my goodness, Kevin Magnussen. I mean, if you had Kevin Magnussen and Liam Lawson as your two drivers, you'd never finish a Grand Prix. Kevin Magnussen, he smashed it into the wall again. Car crash, says Kevin Magnussen. At least he's observant, if nothing else. So Kevin Magnussen's crashes. He's out with Lawson now. Fittipaldi 2 seconds behind Lance Stroll. We're just charging the battery up, conserving on the fuel and getting the tyres back in the window for another push when this VSC ends. But Leclerc's leading from Sainz, Norris in P3, Piastri P4, Verstappen with a mechanical fault in P5. Then comes Perez, Stroll, Fittipaldi, Russell and Yuki Tsunoda. Enzo Fittipaldi, fastest lap of the Grand Prix, and that is not something we expected to see today. He caught up to Lance Stroll and he dispatched the Aston Martin through the chicane. Those tyres on the Aston Martin are done, but Fittipaldi, he's looking every bit a Formula 1 driver at this moment. Lance Stroll's still trying to stick with him, and down the inside, Lance Stroll actually manages to get the job done. I'm amazed that Lance Stroll's managed to get that back. We're just going to calm down on the tyres and the fuel a little bit, and then we'll push on a little bit again. Oh dear, George Russell. To be fair to George Russell, he's not had the best of days, but then he's just gone and done this. Got a little bit trigger happy, caught the gravel. And George Russell's not very happy at all with that, as you wouldn't expect him to be, because if we just cut back to the live action, Russell now down to P12, Fittipaldi comfortably in P10. We've pulled a 10-second gap on Lance Stroll with a couple of laps to go. Final lap then of the Grand Prix, and Charles Leclerc is leading at a canter, 6.5 seconds ahead of his teammate Carlos Sainz. And as he comes around the final couple of corners, it's been an exceptionally good day for Ferrari, as it's a P1 and P2. They tried the no-stop, and it's worked an absolute treat for them. Charles Leclerc wins in Imola. Imagine a 1-2 at Imola for Ferrari. Fantastic from them. Tsunoda and Stroll are finished. What we're going to do is just fast forward on slightly for Fittipaldi and get him into the final sector, because what can you say about this man at the moment? He scored the first points for Team Lotus in the last race in Miami, and as we are now in Imola, he's coming around the final couple of corners for a P7 finish. This man looks every bit a Formula 1 driver. Liam Lawson, you are not the #1 driver in this team anymore, because Enzo Fittipaldi crosses the line, and that is a very, very solid performance. Let's get to the podium.
Karun, what a brilliant drive we just witnessed there.
That really was such a strong performance, and they come away from today with a top 10 finish. Amazing, really, really good for the team.
The team has been waiting patiently there, and you can see just how much it means to each and every one of them. Out and onto the podium steps Charles Leclerc, the driver from Monaco, really deserving of that top 3 spot.
You've got to say Charles Leclerc very much deserving of it. Ferrari, fantastic day for them and their fans, and Lando Norris on the podium there as well. And it's great to see Ferrari lifting that in one of their home races. Great stuff for them. But we've got to say again, Charles Leclerc, Carlos Sainz, Lando Norris, Piastri in P4, Verstappen down in P5, mechanical faults. I mean, if he carries on like this, he's going to want to drive to Lotus. Perez P6, Fittipaldi P7, Lance Stroll P8, Tsunoda P9, and Hamilton finished off the top 10. Fastest lap was Oscar Piastri, but we did have it at one point with Fittipaldi, Magnussen and Lawson, the two that just keep crashing. Driver standings wise, Charles Leclerc leading 156 points, extends his lead over Lando Norris, who's on 129. Verstappen in P3, but Carlos Sainz closes in on him in P4. As we go down, Enzo Fittipaldi, 6 points scored for Team Lotus, and for Fittipaldi puts him just a point behind Yuki Tsunoda. He's carrying all the workload himself here, which we can see in the constructors. Ferrari on 260, McLaren 225, and Red Bull 195. But the battle for 6 is hotting up, because we now are on 8 points. RB, Visa Cash App RB on 11. Haas, Williams, Kick Sauber and Alpine yet to score a point. Ladies and gentlemen, not as action-packed as Miami, but my word, what a good result that was. Let me know what you're thinking down in the comments. And Liam Lawson's seat is not safe. Please do like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Ta-ra.